So, man of the card then, and we're going to start where we left off. The last video I made was the predictions video for UFC 185. Interesting event, several things to note. First, it was a bad day if your surname happened to be Pettis. Both brothers were fighting on the card. Quite surprised that Sergio Pettis was defeated. A little bit, not disappointed, but very, I thought that he would win that one. I'm also shocked at Darren Cruikshank getting submitted like that. And I have to say, that sort of display would be enough to earn Beneil Dariush the man of the card if it wasn't for the main event. This was a championship match, and Anthony Pettis was thought of by loads as being quite a stable champion in the division. He was fighting Rafael dos Anjos, who, had qualified for it, but nobody was expecting quite what happened. It was a unanimous decision victory for Rafael dos Anjos, making him the new champion. It was interesting because it was not close. I have to say that other men, lesser men of lesser calibre would have been finished. So it wasn't like it was an off day for Anthony Pettis, or he's lost it or whatever like that. He had to work quite hard. It was just that Rafael dos Anjos was super, really super. I'd like to see them have a rematch. I would. I'm not usually into instant rematches, but that's one that I wouldn't mind going on, because Anthony Pettis has been champion for quite a while, sort of deserves a rematch. Rafael dos Anjos, just amazing. Perhaps now he has to learn to finish, I suppose, but I think the only reason he didn't was because of the calibre of person he was fighting. So yeah, there we are. Rafael dos Anjos will get the Man of the Card award for that. The next fight was a fight night, and it was Fight Night 62. And I'm just going to have a look down here. Because there were several on there that were interesting as well. I can't remember which ones they were. Godofredo Pepe had a flying triangle choke submission, which was quite interesting to see. Eric Silva defeated Josh Koscheck again. Well, not again as in him, but this was the second time that Josh Koscheck had fought very recently, and both times he was submitted. Although people were saying that, well done him for fighting, so regularly, but I don't remember them doing that with other people. Damian Mayer did win. It was a unanimous decision, and I seem to remember that he used a lot of wrestling in doing that. And I also recognised that during that point he defended his techniques, because the referees considered his wrestling so bad in terms of the sort of thing that wrestlers do, that he was given a point. A point was knocked off because they felt that he wasn't really doing enough. I think Eric Silva is going to get my man of the card for that, but it was one where it could have been a few. The next event was Fight Night 63. And the Chad Mendes does get the man of the card for this, but I would like to say that I'm pretty sure that Ricardo Lamas just wouldn't die in that. Chad Mendes is interesting because he really is at the very top of the contendership. He sort of always has been. I do think that if they fought again, it is unlikely to be that dramatic in terms of its ending. And I do think we ought to recognise the fact that Ricardo Lamas came back several times. Dustin Poirier was on that one as well, wasn't he? Yes. Nice to see him getting back into winning ways as well. There we are. And the very, very last match that took place was UFN Fight Night 64. The interesting thing about this is it was the rematch between Mirko Krokop and Gabriel Gonzaga. Now, the first UFC event, the first mixed martial arts event that I ever went to see was UFC 70. This was a long, long time after that. I thought, gosh, that was years ago. That was 2007, and it's now 2015. So we've had quite a long time. And I was in the crowd when we thought that Krokop had been killed. I mean, it was very surreal. And he got his sort of revenge in terms of he won, and it was a finish. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite as dramatic as the original, and so long since that I don't suppose it sort of really matters. But there we are. Who else was on the card of any particular? I don't think. No. So he will get my fighter of the card for that, just for sort of, posterity, I suppose. And that's it. That's it. And I'm returning with more MMA videos more often next month.